Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Today we're going to work on the second of the mowers that came through from the scrappers. Today is a Troy Bilt XP for extra performance. 21-inch Briggs & Stratton, self-propelled, and it looks complicated. Up here it looks like we got engine speeds, or drive speed I mean. It looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably the bale for starting, and that would be the drive. I hate overly complicated mowers, but if they don't keep making new ones, then they can't keep selling the damn things. So I have no idea anything that's going on with this. So we always start the same way, by making you watch me adjust the camera and all that good crap. And it's always the same thing. I don't check for spark or compression or waste my time doing any of that crap when I don't need to. I look at the dipstick, it's got oil. It's dirty oil, but it's oil all the same. And since I'll eventually change it, doesn't matter. Holy crap. That is nasty. Now, it's clear nobody's taking care of this thing. That doesn't much matter. All we're going to do to check compression and spark, spray a little bit of go-go juice in the carburetor. If it starts on the 3rd or 4th pull, then I know we're good. So let's find out. I think I was pulling the wrong bale. Nope, I was pulling the right one. Just felt a little weird. Alright, I always do it twice. And this time I'm going to pull the bale, see if the self-propelled works whilst we're at it. Looks like a rear wheel drive. And she lunged it forward when I pulled the rear bale. So, it's going to be a carburetor issue, at least to start. They look like Phillips heads. So let's start pulling this sucker apart. Alright. So we just grabbed the old standby tools. If you have just a couple of tools, chances are you're going to be able to work on any one of these things. A couple of screwdrivers, some pliers, a small ratchet set. You can work on just about anything. So, these 8 or 10, I never remember. 8. Take those 3 out. See a lot of people wasting time checking certain things and not doing other things. First thing I do is always get the fuel tank out of the way. That way you can get to everything. There's 3 screws in the top of it. There's also 3 screws in the carburetor. I don't understand these people that make these videos, and they always try to get a wrench in here and take the bottom bowl off the carburetor so they don't take anything apart. I don't know if they're trying to save the 29 cents for a gasket, or if they're just, I don't know, being lazy. But you take that stupid thing off. I'm gonna have to get a smaller, usually I get a smaller, I think it's a 6 mil, but today Just using the pliers. I take that off, it stays right there. Now we got to take the fuel line off. When you have carburetor issues, especially on a machine you know nothing about, just take the carburetor off. Look at that, tank back out of the way. Everything's good to go. That's off. Now I gotta get a socket to pull the carburetor bolts. And I believe it's a 3/8. She's a killer queen. Ah, she's guaranteed to blow your mind. Yeah, 3/8. Better to use a short than a deep well with an extension, so you can get it straight on that bolt and around the body of the carburetor. But other than that, it only has one linkage. Once you pull your fan control, your idle control, which is what this is, it only has one linkage and only has one place to go. The carburetor's filthy, but let's see what the inside of it looks like. Guaranteed to blow your mind. Alright, now let's see what's inside the carby. We're looking for water. Excellent, nothing. We're looking for water, we're looking for dirt. Get your 1/2" wrench. There's a little in there. And take your lower jet out of the bottom of the carburetor. Because that is always the first thing on these Briggs carbs. That's blocked up. On this bottom screw, there's a jet that goes right through the center of that, and I guarantee you, yeah, when I hold it up to the light, it is blocked. Ah, the inside doesn't look too bad though. The fuel looks like shit. Let's see if we can. Ooh, that's what was inside of there. So that is nasty. I don't see any water in the bottom of it. But man, there's a lot of junk and funk in there. Alright. So, closer. Pull this if it. Ooh. That may not even come out. These carburetors, I don't mess with them too much. If something won't move, if something won't come out, it's usually not really worth it, considering these carburetors are about $12 to $15 if you buy them on Amazon. So I think let me see if I can get that out. Just to show you guys that the inside of this thing is, it's it's not great. It's not too horrible, but it isn't great. Let me get a tool. With these trash pick machines that come from the scrappers, because that's where they find them. They're driving down the road, somebody threw it out on the curb, they grab them. So they come to me, I get them for 10 bucks. Sometimes I get them for less. I will, you know, somebody will bring me 4 or 5 machines they know nothing about, and I'll fix one of them for them for free, and then keep the rest as payment, so everybody makes out. But normally I don't waste a lot of time on these things if they run. This one runs clearly. Man, it's a mess in there. And I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner. I'd love to get one because I know what they can do. But at the moment, I don't have one. So I don't mess with them too much. I will go through here with my wire cleaner. I will spray it out and make sure that it runs. And then if it does, I'll know it's worth investing 12 bucks in a carburetor. And if it doesn't, I'll probably invest the 12 bucks in the carburetor anyway, because I know the stupid thing runs. But we just give it a quick tickle like this. And get out what we can. And not spend any money in there. So we will just pretty much do that. Put it back together, we'll put some fuel in it, and we'll see if she'll run. And as long as it runs, I'll go ahead and grab a carburetor. And normally I keep some on the shelf for the price that they are. But I don't think I have one of these right now, honestly. I don't know. I'll have to look. But for last year they were like $9 for these carburetors. But considering that the plastic ones have gone up to $56, and I think the last time I checked this one, it was... Fuck! I can't see. Well, that made for an interesting few minutes. Sorry about that. And I can't edit or I lose sound. Somehow when I sprayed this thing, first time in years, it sprayed right back up in my face with a full shot, both my eyes. Hasn't happened in years, like since I was a kid. Got me in both eyes. My whole face is red. I'm not even going to show you on here. And shit happens. There is nothing that you can do about it. It's probably happened to me about 3 times in my life. Every once in a while it'll get you a little bit on your lip or a little bit of spray back somewhere. But that was a full face. If I was a woman, we'd be talking porn lyrics here. That was a bad one. So I keep a bucket full of water with soap, just for most other things. And I went and dunked my face in it and then washed it. And it's still burning, and there's nothing I can do about it. So there's no reason to fret about it. It'll burn probably for a couple hours. I literally just had a customer yesterday tell me he sprayed himself in the face with carb cleaner and he thought he was gonna go blind. And it hurts. All that sensitive skin around your eyes, on your nose, your lips, it hurts like hell. But you're not gonna go blind. It's not all that bad. I'm gonna grab another gasket for that out of the bucket. I buy a ton of carburetors online But I'm also lucky enough to have a parts house not too far from here. And these Briggs gaskets are like 40 cents, and I just buy them. I buy 20 at a time. So I always have these. And I just put both of them back in the bag, didn't I? I've tried buying them on Amazon in like 10 packs and 20 packs, and they're kind of crappy. But every time I buy a carburetor, they send you extra gaskets. So I always just throw them in the thingy. And these are all standard. Sometimes the plastic gets warped on the machine. The carburetor's metal, but the plastic gets warped. And so you end up putting two gaskets on, trying to close in the space. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Just try to get off as much as you can. This is not the side of the carburetor that touches the engine or the manifold. Okay, that's this side. This is the side that touches literally just the air filter. So it doesn't particularly matter unless it's a primer situation. If you have to prime, you have a primer bulb, then this has to seal against that plastic. If there's no primer, and I don't know if there's one on this one or not, I don't remember. Let me go look. No, there's no primer on this one. The primer bulb would be here, and if it's self-priming, the primer bulb would be here. If it's self-priming, they just close it off. So we don't even have to worry about that gasket. And then the back side here is just an O-ring that's on the manifold, the intake. So since there's no primer, this is self-priming, I'm not even going to waste the gasket. It's literally, this just touches this plastic, and it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of an air leak there, because on this side it's an air filter. It's just a big air leak. It's just open to the outside, keeping sand out. As long as your O-ring is good on the back side of your carburetor on this one, you don't have to worry, because it's self-priming. So yeah, not even going to worry about that. Alright, let's go put it back on, and let's see if this thing will run. Alright, my face is killing me, and my nose is running like I ate a jalapeno pepper or something. I don't eat hot food. Oops. Before I do that, that's that. Let's put the linkage back on. That would help in the long run. Won't run very well without that. Now put that back up there. Put this bolt in here. Get it started. Don't use this, boys and girls. I do this 10 times a day. I have it set on the lowest setting. If you try and do what I do, and you strip out one of these bolts, don't come crying to me. Now, we'll put our governor back on. This is just the arm that goes across the front, and when the engine starts spinning, it pushes it away, and that's what works your governor. Where a lot of times you see it on the side of the machine, in this case it's on the top. It's not a bad system. They work fine. Make sure that works. Put our fuel line back on. Put our clamp back on. Make sure your rope's out of the way. That goes on here. There is a secondary. This looks like a tank breather that goes on the top. I actually haven't seen one of those before, but you put it back on the way you took it off. Put the 3 bolts back in here. 2 of them go in the carburetor, body itself, and the other one goes up here in this part of the frame. For those of you that don't know, this little lever on here with the spring, if your idle needs to be adjusted, forward will idle it up, it'll rev it up higher, and backwards will lower your idle. That's your idle adjustment on these. I get people that come all the time and say, my machine is idling a little slow and I don't like it. And I take that plastic cover off and I put a pair of pliers on that thing while it's running, and I just bend it forward a little bit and the idle comes right up, and they go, wow, how much do I owe you? And I go, 40 bucks. And then of course I don't charge them nothing, because maybe next time they can do it themselves and save some money, because I have seen places and been to places where they don't let you watch the repairs. That's why I do YouTube. It's first and foremost for my customers. But in many places, you drop off your machine and you say, I don't like what's going on, it's idling low, or it's idling high, or whatever, and that's all wonderful. And they take it in the back and they adjust this, and they don't show you and they don't tell you, and you come back a week later to pick it up and they go, yeah, we got it all running for you, you're good to go, 40 bucks. So that's why I do what I do, to show my customers. Now I did change the fuel. It's got a full tank. I want to see if it'll run with the carburetor cleared out, so let's just see if it'll start and run. It'll start and run. Let me grab an air filter and put that cover back on. I'm on sand here, so the last thing I want to do is suck sand up. It blows out from underneath of the machine, and then it'll suck it right up into the machine, and I will wreck a perfectly good machine over an air filter. And these air filters I do buy by the case, because they're like 10 bucks at the store, and I get them for like $3 if I order them by the case. So I always have air filters of various types, and there's only like 3 styles for push mowers, so it's easy to buy a pack of a 12 pack or a 24 pack and keep them laying around when you got a few bucks. If you're doing any kind of work, whether you're doing it for yourself, finding machines and fixing them and selling them, or working on your own stuff or whatever. So now I want to see how it'll run, if it'll stay running, what it sounds like, blah 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 blah. Figure out this drive. So bear with me. See if she'll run. bit. First of all, the self-propelled shit works. It's got 4 gears. I just ran it through all 4. Basically, it just tensions on a belt. 1 is a fairly slow pace. 2 is where I'd probably cut. 3 was a little fast for me. And 4, I almost had to jog to keep up with it. But everything there works. It's smoking a little bit. And when your mower smokes, it's more than likely that you have too much oil in it. That's simply all it is. Check your oil level. If it's got too much oil, flip it to the side, pour out an ounce or 2, put it back up, run it for a minute, the smoke will go away. Now this thing hasn't ran in I don't know how long, so there might also be something in the muffler, but it's got old oil in it. Didn't look like it was overflowing, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. The thing works. So the only other thing that I want to check real quick is the blade. I just want to see what the blade looks like. If the blade's in decent shape, or if it's all messed up, it can tell you a lot about the last owner. We don't even have rounded off edges. It's got a ding or 2 right there, but it actually still has an edge on it. Been sharpened. It was sharpened recently before it was put away. The lips are still in one piece. The edge is still almost square. The blade's fairly new. So whoever had it took care of it at least. It sat outside. It's got telltale signs of that. Usually when you find little rusted parts here, see, these are all powder coated. This is not. So this one rusted. There's a little bit of rust here. Now we're in Florida, so we have very moist air. So it could still rust in your garage. Considering that's the only rust on it though, my guess is that it was outside at least recently enough. And what I'll probably end up doing is touching this up with a little black spray paint. But other than that, she runs very well. I'm actually surprised. I'm trying to see what year it is. It's 2011. The numbers are right there. It's 2011. Good old Briggs & Stratton. Love it. So all that's left now at this point is to give it a bath, get all that dirt and crap off of it. I will off camera check the belt. It ran through all 4 gears with no issues. So I'll check the belt, make sure it's not all worn out, if it needs a new belt. And of course, I'm gonna let it run for half an hour, run out the fuel that's in it, put some fresh high test non-ethanol in it, and let it run a little bit more and change the oil. But there you go. A machine again that wouldn't run. Somebody threw it away. And besides me splashing myself in the eyes with carburetor cleaner, clean the carburetor, put it back together, probably get a whole nother season out of it. With that fancy schmancy drive system, I'll probably get $130 for that mower. $125 is probably what I'll put it up for. Because I don't need it, I have plenty. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. The next video I'm going to be doing is going to be on this here pressure washer that was brought to me by the same cat. No idea anything about it. I'm sure the motor's fine. Usually it's the pumps that go bad. And then I have to do this Toro as well. And that's the last video I did. So hit the like button on your way out the door. Hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon.